Hey Julian, let's take a look at your ball bounce assignment. And then I saw you have a note here that said you got cartooning with your Stuvo, so I can't wait to see that. It's looking great. Nice. Yeah. Okay. So first of all, I love that your presentation shows that the ball is it's not just starting from midair. I mean, you really thought about the presentation and the staging of everything. I think that's a really good sign that that's not for this one because of the simplicity of everything, and it's not really a huge part of the grade or a part of the grade at all. But you're still thinking like, how is this animation being presented in a way that's as appealing as possible, and so it's really nice to see it come from off screen, not just start in the middle, out of nowhere in midair or anything. Like you're putting that into your assignment, and that's great to see. Your timing and spacing overall, I think you nailed it with that. I mean, there's nothing that I'm seeing like on a big scale. I'm going to go in frame by frame, but from a big scale, everything is looking correct, and you have really nice arcs. It looks like your timing and spacing is very clean here. So, and nice settle at the end. I feel like you could probably, again, it's not something that was a huge, or that's even part of the assignment to have the ball settle, but you did, and you added a nice little touch of it settling at the end. I feel like you could go a little bit further with that. I will show you how to do that tomorrow. That's because in your next assignment, that is part of the grade, is to have the ball settle. And so there's a few things that I will show you just to get that down. I'll do that tomorrow. But yeah, again, you can do that in your revision or not. I mean, it's really not that big of a deal for this grade. But yeah, the fact that you thought to put it in there at all is another good sign. Like you're thinking about, again, the presentation of everything, the overall package that you're presenting to your audience. So that's great. Let's take a look at the timing on a frame-by-frame basis. So that's good. You have this. One thing is like seeing this coming from one direction over to this one. This one probably a little bit. One of these is a little bit too high, so I'd say maybe I like the distance that this one is going. I think it might be a little bit. If anything, I'd bring it like down to here. And then this one is almost at that same height. It's a little bit lower, and that's good. But I'd want to see that difference a little bit more. And it's a little bit more. It's not a lot. It's not that much. So that's that. Great arcs. Really nice ease in and ease out there. So that looks great. Very nice on that one. Good spacing. Again, like this one, a little higher than this one. And I feel like that one, this is a good representation of what this one should look like. I mean, it's close to that. I feel like maybe that one, yeah, if it was down just a little bit more, that would sell it to me. And then that's great. Perfect. Nice little bounces at the end. Good settle. But yeah, I think like a little bit more detail on the settle, but overall, like what was required and is required for this assignment, you've hit all of those notes really well, and that's good. So let's take a look at your pose now. Your sketchbook, got all that. That's great. Percent Y decrease from bounce. Wow, good formula there. Wow, very technical here. Looks like, okay, that's cool. You got the planning, that's all that matters. Cool, okay. Let's see where you took this pose. I love your mini sketches for your planning. And some interesting ideas, like the ideas that, like, I feel like it kind of starts a little on the cliche side at the top, and that's one of the hardest things that, with this pose, with the excitement pose, is to get away from cliche. I mean, it's just tough because you want to sell excitement, but you also don't want to do it in a way that's like everyone's seen that pose before. And I think you're understanding that, and that's what I'm reading here. It's like just looking from the top going down, like it's your ideas are becoming more original as you develop them more, and so that's great to see. And that's why we do this. This is why we don't just draw one pose or two poses. We draw as many poses as we can because we're trying to get away from that area that everyone's seen before. And so that's cool. Okay, yeah, I like this pose. What can we do to really... So the good news is that I've never seen a excitement pose like this, and that right there, that's great, because that's something that again you're showing that your voice is unique within your poses, and there's a lot to be said about that. The thing is, and it's not really bad news. It's not like good news and bad news like I just said, but there is a level of clarity that I feel like we could get within this pose, and it's just a little tweaking here and there. I mean, I really like a lot of this. I love this arm and this hand shape. It makes me want to see this hand, this right hand, almost the same. Like I want to see the bottom of the palm, and so it's more like that. Like you're bringing both of them out like that, like this. And then people will say, oh, but it's twinning. But the alternative, I mean, the reality is that you can avoid that. You're already avoiding the twinning by like breaking the height of this up a little bit. Now maybe this wrist isn't rotated the same amount as this wrist. We're seeing it from a different angle. You might even want to push that IK a little bit further. So maybe even it's like bringing like one a little bit straight. Like this arm, it's already a little straighter than the other one, but maybe even go so far as to like break the rig a little bit and bring that wrist out. There's certain things you can do here that will just separate it enough, because it doesn't have to be, as long as it's not like a perfect, and twinning, that's one thing that I feel is pretty deceptive, because a lot of people see the same arm pose and immediately say that that's twinning, but twinning is really like if it's doing the exact same thing at the exact same, just straight on, just like the exact same thing. But if you think about it, when someone's doing a gesture, they usually use both hands, and maybe one hand will be a little bit up to the other one, but you don't want to go so far away as to like one is doing something completely different. It's okay to have both your arms up if you're excited, and you're doing that, and that's great. But I think that even what you did to adjust that, to change that, is like one wrist is going one way and one's the other. Like I feel like that's kind of taking away from the power of this pose. And then this is good. Now with the legs, that's something that I think maybe even like bringing this leg joint. I'm at this point just experimenting with this because I think this one works. I think maybe if we saw it from the front a little bit more, then we would let's try it. So here, let me draw in a different color. It's going to be kind of messy, but whatever. Like if we saw the bottom of the foot here, and then basically I don't want this leg to break, and this is what I'm feeling is like this leg at this point is totally broken. So we want to maybe, but it works so well for this pose. Yeah, it's okay. Let's we're close. Yeah, like I feel like that is not as good. That's okay. We're close. I think that the truth is that you're really close to this, but it's just like I don't want that knee to break over. So, so what if it's like that, and then this foot is, it's gonna break that foot. So maybe if it's a little bit more head on. You've stumped me here. Okay, so let's just try a few things like orienting the knee a little bit closer to this direction. Like basically like it's not breaking, it's not going behind the character. And try some stuff with that. Maybe even bringing it down a little bit more, but if at that point, like what I don't like about that when you bring it down is that like maybe that will work. And if we see like more for the bottom of this foot, that will work too. Like that's funny, but it kind of takes it in a different direction, right? So there's some tweaking there that can happen. But overall, I mean, this pose is great. It's just finding it to where if you ever feel like your character is uncomfortable, I love that you're pushing the pose and getting exaggerations. But if you ever feel like it's like, ow, that looks like you broke the character's leg or something to get that pose, then it's time to like kind of step back and reevaluate a little bit more. But I mean, overall, this is really cool. So that's great to see. Good stuff. Okay, that's it. Let me know if you have any questions. All right, thanks, Julian.